So let's say you've decided that you want to raise a first-time private equity fund from investors to invest in private companies. Great. Now the hard part is going to be convincing those investors to invest in your first-time private equity fund. In this video, we will go over 5 tips to raising a first-time private equity fund. And then we'll end the video with a final thought. So let's get started with the 5 tips to raising a first-time private equity fund. Number 1, go deal by deal first. If you are raising a fund because of your ability to find deals and create value in those deals, it might make sense to start looking for deals right away. If you can find a deal and syndicate the deal with a few investors, this may be an easier sell than asking investors to invest in a private equity fund structure that is set up as a blind pool. If you can start out by getting 1 or 2 deals with groups of investors, you can always roll those deals into a fund structure and use them as evidence of your ability to execute on deals as you are looking to raise more capital. Next, let's move on to number 2. Be prepared for a long fundraise. In other words, plan for a longer fundraise than you originally thought. While there may be instances where raising money is faster than you anticipate, it's more likely that it takes a lot longer than you originally planned. It's not so difficult to get investors to show interest, but it's fairly difficult to have investors actually dip into their pockets and commit capital to a first-time fund. Next, let's move on to number 3. Have a verifiable track record. Are you coming from another private equity firm? A pension fund? Somewhere else? You want to do the best you can to prove that the track record at your prior employer is attributable to you, and that you can replicate or improve that track record with the new team at your first-time fund. And of course, you want to prove to the investor that you have an incredible team working with you on the fund. Next, let's move on to number 4. Get an anchor LP. Similar to how a plaza may sign up an anchor tenant such as Walmart to attract other tenants, it would be helpful to attract a seasoned investor to put in a good-sized investment into your fund. You may want to offer this anchor investor special rights, maybe co-investment rights, or even part ownership of the GP. And finally, something we have spoken about in many of our videos, number 5, have skin in the game. As the general partner, if you are willing to risk your own capital, well, this is a good sign to investors that you are investing in yourself. Now, here's a final thought. We talked about 5 tips to raising a first-time private equity fund. Number 1, go deal by deal first. Number 2, be prepared for a long fundraise. Number 3, have a verifiable track record. Number 4, get an anchor LP. And number 5, have skin in the game. But there are a lot more details that we didn't mention, such as, do you have a clear strategy that targets a certain sector, geography, or company size? Do you have a well-planned out investment process to ensure that you are filtering companies through comprehensive due diligence? And are you really able to obtain proprietary deal flow through your and your team's network? If you are looking to raise a first-time private equity fund, it's going to be difficult, but not impossible. Please don't get tempted to be too optimistic with your projections. Be honest, be transparent, and create LP-friendly terms. Private equity is a relationship business. If you can raise a first-time fund and you can deliver on your promises, there is a good chance that the investors in your first fund will also be investors in your second fund, your third fund, and many other funds in the future. In this video, we covered 5 tips to raising a first-time private equity fund. Are there any other tips that you can think of? If so, please write your thoughts in the comments below.